Hello and welcome, this is Rooflemonger, and this is my revised tier list for Dragon Ball FighterZ. Now, as of the time of this recording, it would have been just shy of 2 months ago I made my first tier list for this game, and while there has been no balance changes for this game, there has been new developments in the community, like finding out new tech, new strategies, new team compositions, all sorts of stuff that has basically shifted the meta of the game a little bit and, shown either what new capabilities the character is capable of that wasn't immediately apparent at first, or kind of exploring the end of the road of what a character can do and really kind of highlighting their shortcomings and, maybe, dropping them down a little bit. So, in this list here, and just so you know here, I'll just snap in real quick, this was my old tier list. So, that was the old one. And now I'm just going to flash in real quick here, the new one. So as you can see, some people have fallen, some people have risen, but for the most part, most of the cast is staying where they are, because I did believe strongly in my original tier list, so most of the cast is still where I originally put them. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to quickly, very briefly, go over the people who didn't change over. I'm not going to talk to everyone in detail. And if you want to see my initial opinions of them, which is basically the same as it was, please check the original tier list guide, which there will be a link to it at the end of this video. And for the new people, I'm just going to go by them one by one, the people who have risen or fallen. I'm going to discuss why they have risen or fallen, and we'll go from there. So this video will have timestamps, so please use the timestamps as it'll be easier for you to skip around. And let's get to it. So before we go into the ups and downs of who's gone up and down the character tier list, and also the DLC characters Broly and Bardock, so far in this list, the characters of Cell, Android 16, Kid Buu, Goku Black, Yamcha, Goku Blue, Android 18, Vegeta, Tien, Trunks, Frieza, Krillin, Super Saiyan Goku, Ginyu, Vegeta Blue, Piccolo, Nappa, and Majin Buu, they're all exactly where I left them originally. So I still believe strongly, and there hasn't been much to say about them. And I did cover it, so once again, check the end of the video if you want a little more in-depth, but just to really quickly go over, Nappa and Majin Buu, time has not treated them well. I still consider them the two worst characters in the game. There's nothing really new that's developed in the meantime to change my opinion on the matter, and that kind of really stinks. I was kind of hoping for something more. Someone like Piccolo, the really big flaws of the Hellzone grenade setups with a deflect kind of really crippling a lot of the potential. Has since come to light since the original tier list, so that kind of stinks. Now, it also has come to light that if you catch someone in the middle of deflecting all your Hellzone blasts, that you can actually Sparking Blast, and it will hit them, and you can get a free combo. That said, it scales horrifically, so, unless it's going to be kill, it might not be worth to burn your Sparking Blast for like a 20% if you're lucky damage combo. But yeah, he was a character I thought over time would go up the list, not stay where he is, but unfortunately he's kind of staying where he is. That said, also Ginyu, not much to say. Vegeta Blue, he's still, I don't even know how to put it kindly, he's just an incredibly ho-hum character. A lot of people in the mid of the tier, of the 5 tiers I present in this tier list, they're just, they're still good, they're still solid, but nothing as extravagant. Goku Black maybe is not in high as favor as he used to be, but he still is an incredible all-rounder. He's easily the best of the 3 Gokus. He has an incredible toolbox. It's just that people are kind of going to the even stronger characters, but that doesn't mean he is in any way weak. He is still definitely one of the better characters in the game. Kid Buu also, he's gone a bit stronger, in my opinion. There's been a lot more setups found for him, but the thing that really hurts him is his comparatively low damage. I'm not going to say it's bad, but compared to the rest of the good characters, it's definitely the weakest of all of them. So that's the one thing that kind of hurts his game. And Cell and 16, they're still awesome. 16, I actually considered dropping down 1 tier, just because while his mix-up is still an incredibly powerful thing, it is still the one reason why he's at the top, and without that mix-up, he does not deserve to be in top or even in the upper bracket. He would be a mid-tier character at best without it. But, I don't know, I thought about some, and it is still, for the most part, a coin flip to guess right on the mix-up, so it's still incredibly strong, so it stays where it is. And obviously, we got some new people going up the list, we got a couple people going down, so now let's just talk about all the people who have shifted up and down, and plus the DLC characters. While the lowest tier unfortunately didn't change, because I was kind of hoping, people would like kind of make Majin Buu or Nappa explode and awesome stuff. That hasn't changed. The second to lowest tier has unfortunately gotten 2 new compatriots. So the first up here is Beerus. Now, I still stand by Beerus, what I originally said about him. He's a great, nothing about him appears bad on paper. Not a single thing. He's got, obviously the amazing sweep. He's got an amazing down heavy in the air that catches a lot of people airborne. Covers a lot of space, and all it takes is one connect into a full combo. There's been some silly, I'm not going to count glitches and all that in as far as tier placement goes, but there's been a lot of glitches found with him, like infinite key blast and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, it just, even though his toolbox is not bad on paper, so far, nothing's been impressive with him. He's still got cool concepts and all that, but they still have the same weaknesses they always did. And unfortunately, I've not really seen anyone like really make him work. And I don't know, it just, once again, I still think he's a serviceable character, but nothing has stood out. He's basically the same as where he was 2 months ago. And for that, I got to knock him down a tier because nothing else has really stood up since then. A lot of characters have gotten new crazy things figured out and all that. But he still had the same average ho-hum moveset and same old tactics he had before. And for that, I just got to knock him down 1 tier. Next up, being demoted on the tier list is Tien Gohan. Now, Tien Gohan, when I originally put him in mid, I saw, some of the fun stuff, like the bomb loops are all showing up and all that. And that means, his damage is a little bit better than everyone else's. But that's kind of all he ever had. I saw some potential in him, but, the potential goes with the Gohan with the actual potential unleashed move, because he's the one who climbed the tier list. This Gohan, he's been kind of stonewalled. It's been more apparent his bad neutral, his buttons are just garbage. He has no aerial game other than just flinging himself at you with a homing dash. Lightning legs is not a thing. He's got good pressure, sure, but so does half the cast. It's not really any scarier than anyone else. Big Gohan is a lot scarier, to be sure. And while his damage is slightly better than most of the cast, it's not enough to make up for his shortfalling in basically every aspect. He has very horrible buttons. He's got no approach other than to fling himself at you. And, he doesn't even have the best moves to fling himself at you, like, say, Bardock does. And just all in all, damage isn't enough, and decent pressure isn't enough. The potential I saw in him has kind of not been realized, because it seems this is about as good as he gets until a balance patch happens. So for that, I gotta knock him down a tier. Now, Hit is the character who has fallen down a tier. Now, do I think Hit is a bad character now? No. Do I think Hit is a good character now? Yes, I still think he's a good character. However, in recent times, a lot of his kind of weaknesses have been, like, for lack of a better term, exposed. And that is, he's basically got no way to force a low, so there's no reason to really do anything other than stand block him, because this slow is really slow. It might even be slower than his overhead. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. But for the most part, there's no real reason to give him any respect. You can just stand block everything he has, and then you can reaction block his low. And that's kind of the opposite of how fighting games normally work for the most part, especially 2D fighting games anyways. And one other thing, this is more of a higher level thing, but the option select of jump back tag kind of really wrecks a lot of Hit's offense. And he kind of doesn't really have much he can do about it, unfortunately, because that's just the way his kind of flow of normals work, that just he can't do too much about it. He still has, cool combos, good combos, interesting moves, an interesting way to control a lot of the screen, with the unblockable and like his projectiles and all that kind of stuff. But at the higher levels of play, considering the weaknesses of the fact you don't have to respect him mix-up wise, like maybe left-right mix-ups, sure, but when it comes to high-low, not so much. And the fact that he's kind of really hurt by the options like tag tech, for that I do gotta knock him down 1 rank in the tier. Broly. Broly is one of the 2 new DLC characters, and as of the time of this writing, I gotta put him straight in the middle of the list. So he's certainly not bad. I don't think he's great. Of the 2 characters, is definitely the one I played the most of. And while he has, some obvious strengths, got the big boy normals to be sure, covers a lot of the screen, he's got little handy-dandy, high durability basic key blast, so it can't, hang with like a proper projectile, but it does beat all other basic key blasts. That's pretty handy. He's got obviously armor on everything other than the jabs. And yeah, but the one thing that hurts him in this regard is his damage has got to be the lowest overall in the game. Like practical damage output. And I'm not talking about starting your combo with this stupid thing. His practical real match combo output is it's the lowest overall in the game. So while he's a great toolbox and he's got all sorts of great normals, a lot of fantastic things to speak about him, his damage is so low. And the other thing that hurts him is just his size. Like, he's much more prone to be hit by like moves that'll miss anybody else because he's so big. I know there's a lot of character-specific, like big character-specific combos, and I bet in time there'll be Broly-only specific combos due to his height, and that'll play against him. And everything's slow. Like, you know, he's got a very slow normals. Now, for the most part, when you're not beside the enemy, that's fine, especially because, you know, a lot of your normals have armor, so that's fantastic even. But he suffers greatly. You know, not many people have true reversals, sure, but like the fact he's so big and bigger than everyone else makes sure he really kind of suffers in the corner. So while I think he has a lot of strengths, he also has one really key critical weakness in the low damage. Because, you know, damage is what matters in this game. A character that is at 1 health does as much damage as a character that's at full health, right? So until he can, like, get rid of a character, a lot of characters, you know, depending on assists and all that, usually kill in 2 or 3 hits. Broly's more like, you know, 4. Unless you have, like, both assists and a lot of bar. So that kind of stinks. But yeah, the damage is the real big thing. Otherwise, I would rate him a tier higher if he had normal damage. But that's unfortunately the thing that's mostly bringing him down. That and usual big boy problems. So our higher tier has seen quite a bit of change, as we got 3 new people in the high tier. And first of which is new DLC character Bardock. Now, Bardock is a very straightforward character, but if you've watched any of my videos, I've said a million times, straightforward is never a bad thing. And more to the point, he's very much a bulldog. Like, his quarter circle forward light rush punch is amazing. So it's basically, my understanding is it's -1 on block, so not only is it safe, you know, and it's perfectly fine with like assist backup and all that kind of stuff. Bardock extra wrecks the big characters with the slow buttons, because since it's only -1 on block, it means when you both jab right away, he's either going to win or trade even with you, and as long as he keeps mashing jab, he's going to win out in the end. So if a large character like a Broly or an Android 16 blocks this, it's basically still Bardock's turn, which is absolutely absurd. So he's got a very favorable match against the big characters. That aside, like, that's not the only strength, but, you know, it's a really good strength. You know, so much screen coverage, just so much bulldog pressure potential. He's got an ability to burn way more extra bar than most people do, as he has a natural extension on one of his supers. That super is the only invincible level 1 super in the game, meaning he has a true invincible reversal, which is an incredibly rare and incredibly powerful thing in this game. Just all around, he's fantastic. And like, even on top of that, his damage potential with assists is higher than most of the cast, since he can very easily, you know, just call at most assists in the game. Not every assist, but most assists in the game will work with his bionic arm super here. And then he can kind of recombo out on that, depending on what the assist is. Some might only allow an additional level 1 super, some might allow a full combo afterwards. But yeah, very high damage with assists, excellent bar burning opportunities, incredibly favorable match against the big characters. All in all, just Bardock he's basically the game's best bulldog character, and because he can just work his way in from anywhere because it's 0 effort, thanks to his rush move, and just fantastic character overall. Now, Android 21 has also jumped up on my personal tier list. So while, you know, a lot of the strengths I talked about her previously are still the same, you know, fantastic range, you know, very good damage with assists, some of the best damage with assists, because she's very prone to start a combo with a medium, unlike a lot of the characters. I still think, with that said, she's still overmatched by Kid Buu, but this is where a lot of the community stuff comes into play, because a lot of practical touch of death combos have been found with her now. And by practical, I mean these are real match situations. You can actually very much get them in a real game. And I'm not even talking about like the glitch infinite stuff that is, as of the time of me recording this, you know, kind of prevalent right now. I'm not factoring in those glitches at all in this. I'm just talking about like the proper touch of death stuff that usually can start right at the start of a round. Just all it takes is a down medium. You don't even need Vegeta anymore, because a lot of the earlier ones had the Vegeta assist, and now it turns out you can get them with just about, you know, most of the cast. So for that, I absolutely have to rank her up here. In fact, she has a reliable way to kill a character at the start of a round for 0 bars. And yeah, you got to use both assists, and you got to burn your sparking and all that kind of stuff, sure. But yeah, there's no way I couldn't rank her up with all these new community inventions and combos and tactics figured out. Now, Gotenks is another character that has absolutely risen up on my personal tier list due to the discoveries of the community. Now, he's still a great, fantastic, amazing even toolbox character with the weakness of slightly lower than average damage, and all that, you know, still remain the same. But a lot of people have figured out stuff specifically with his assist, like cell restand combos and all that kind of stuff that is, for no other term can describe it other than greasy. The kind of reset potential with his assist is fantastic, and just kind of new setups involving his level 1, tagging into other characters, get a recombos from there, and then, you know, potentially even a mix-up afterwards. All in all, just fantastic. His use as a point character, like up front, with new tag super applications is great. You know, people figuring that kind of stuff out. And the really dirty, greasy stuff with his own assists, with, you know, a lot of the other top tier characters, I can't deny the effectiveness of it, because this is kind of stuff I look at, I'm like, as I'm watching it the first time, like, I would never block this correctly in a million years, other than a raw guess. So with that said in mind, I gotta rank up Gotenks on the list as well. And new on the top tier of the list is Adult Gohan. So before I had him in the second highest tier, and I even stated, like, I think he's on the cusp of being top tier, and now, you know, reality is hit. Like, you know, we've all seen what's going on. There's no way I can deny it. He's absolutely a top tier character. Now, do I think he's as good as overall character as Cell is, pound for pound? No, I don't. I don't think he's that at all. But he still, you know, has a way stronger corner game than Cell. He still has a lot of dirty gimmicks, you know, with all the machine gun leg pressure, his, for no better word for it, dumb standing light attack. You know, it's a 5-frame low, so it's the fastest normal attack in the game, and it's also a low, so that kind of stuff. His damage is out through the roof, especially now people have been, like, you know, optimizing leg loop combos in the corner and all that kind of stuff. All in all, he's a juggernaut. It can't be overstated. Adult Gohan absolutely belongs in the top tier, and I could gush more about all of his strengths, but you probably know a lot of them by now, because, you know, there's been plenty of stuff out there. But yeah, even, like, the very basic stuff, like, you know, at level 1, potential unleash, he has the strongest beam in the game, that kind of stuff. Just, I don't know, all in all, he's a monster, and he probably has to worry whenever the inevitable balance patch comes, because he's going to have one of the big bullseyes on his head. Because unlike Cell, who is a great all-rounder, Cell never had anything that particularly stood out, versus Gohan has a lot of things that really stand out, so he might have to worry about a potential rebalance in the future. So there you have it. Now, I didn't go over every character this time like I did in my previous video, but that's only because in my previous video, all of my opinions basically still stand for the characters. I did not change their listing on the tier list, and for the most part, that's most of the cast. So, anyways, agree or disagree, these are my opinions. What in the world button did I just hit to do this? I've actually never seen the screen before. Huh, what do you know? Anyways, agree or disagree. Feel free to post your opinions in the comments. Tell me what you think of the current tiers as they stand. And that is it for this video. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this video found you well. Go out and play some Dragon Ball.